Yo. Welcome into the ChrisBeCappinn Show. Today is December the 8th, and there are only 3 games in the NBA for today because we got cup games on Wednesday and Thursday. So a lot of the teams get, a little bit of a break before real, full slate basketball starts back on Thursday. So, let's jump into it, man. Yesterday, nothing official for me. Short list on the show. Did pretty good yesterday. Not going to go through the recap, but it did pretty good, man. Hopefully you guys were able to find some ways to make some money. Let's just jump right into it for today, man. So Sacramento, Indiana is what we'll get to first, but let's go through the comments. Good morning, Nice. He says, good morning, Chris. Bulls is on the do not bet list. I thought the Bulls were in a good spot yesterday too, but it seems like no spot is a good spot for the Bulls. What's up, Los? He says, good morning, Chris. I like the Pacers to get it done against the Kings. I also like the over between the Suns and the Wolves. Let's get it. Jay says, what's up, Chris? Tell your Memphis lean, Knicks Magic full game under, and the Celtics lean. Hope you made some money yesterday. Like it. Lon says, good morning, Chris. You going back again to Trey Murphy in this spot? We'll talk about it. We will talk about it. What's up, Prolific? He says, got Denver on first quarter, Denver on the do not bet list. Yeah, I like Denver in the first quarter yesterday too, but I'm glad I did not play it. Did not play that one. That game, it's always interesting. I told you guys yesterday, Denver, since Jokic joined the team in non-conference games, on the road as a double-digit favorite with 6-2 to the under, and that game stayed under the total yesterday. Kind of made sense, right? Charlotte started the game with 30 points in the first quarter, and they slowed down. But Bridges, over those 4.5 assists, he finished with 9, I think, yesterday, or 8 or something like that. What's up, Brian? He says, good morning, Chris. Our Lakers pulled it out. Victory last night. LeBron showed up. It's crazy how the Thunder keep covering these games. Let's find it today. There's a lot to unpack in this comment, Brian, because I watched a lot of that Jazz game until the third quarter. I was like, I can't watch any of this anymore. It was an absolute beatdown last night. Will Hardy had some choice words for us guys. And I watched, the whole – I think I turned the game on at the beginning of the second quarter with the Lakers and the 76ers and watched the rest of that game as well. And that was very entertaining, very, very entertaining yesterday. Question of the day. Do we fade Minnesota in the first half? Probably against the Suns. We will talk about it, Brian, just a second. We'll talk about it. What's up, Justin? Appreciate you for tapping in. Vario, good morning, my brother. He says, what's up, Chris in chat? Walsh over his 6.5 points cash in the first quarter. Minding people hit the like button. Yeah, Walsh has been good, man. Boston got the job done again last night. I thought Toronto could bounce back. And they did in the third quarter, and they couldn't score in the fourth quarter. Celtics defense just really locked them up. They're also not a great three-point shooting team. That's the big Achilles heel for the Toronto Raptors right now. You watch them shoot threes in the fourth quarter when they were down. They trying to cut the deficit. They couldn't make them. Could not make them. Greg says, appreciate you, Chris, for having a show every day. My guy, appreciate you for tapping in every day, Greg. Good morning, Tariq. He says, my only NBA bet was the Lakers live. Got some cash there. Burrell says, great Knicks cover. Good morning. Yeah, Knicks got the job done. Franz is probably going to miss that cup game tomorrow. That line has already moved too. It was 5.5 at first. It's actually flipped of favorites now to 1.5. Miami's actually laying a 1.5 on the road. So we'll talk about that tomorrow. Let's jump into it for today, man. So first up, we'll start with your AI sports betting tool. JaXon is coming off a nice little 2-0 sweep yesterday. JaXon liked the under between the Utah Jazz and the Oklahoma City Thunder yesterday. That was an easy winner. JaXon also liked the Knicks minus the 2.5, which was another easy winner yesterday. So 2-0 day for JaXon yesterday. I asked JaXon, going back to the player props. Yesterday, I gave you guys a side in the total. Today, I asked JaXon for the 2 best player props for so the exact prompt was what are the 2 best player props in the NBA for today based on this season stats and situational spots. So JaXon likes De'Aaron Fox over his 23.5 points, minus 128 right now. Looks like he's on FanDuel. Talks about the season-long consistency. So he's averaging 25 points per game so far this season, which is a 1.5 above the current line. He's hit the over 78.57% of his game so far. Recent surge. He's been scoring phenomenal lately, hitting the over 90% of his last 10 games, averaging 26.7 during that stretch. He's hit the over 80% of his last 5 games. Efficiency, Fox is an incredibly efficient scorer, ranking 83rd percentile amongst point guards in points per game and 81st percentile in true shooting percentage at 61.5%. So then you got situational matchup stuff, defense versus position. New Orleans ranks 25th in opponent defense versus position rank for point guards. This indicates a very weak matchup for a very weak defense against Fox position. And then the Pelicans injury crisis. So Zion out, Jordan Poole out, Herb Jones, who could potentially return today. He's listed as out here, but he is questionable. And DeJounte Murray. The absence of these key players removes their primary defensive anchors and offensive threats, forcing the remaining players to carry an unsustainable load. Pause. And then Spurs offensive reliance. So with Victor Wembanyama and Stephon Castle also out for the Spurs, who Castle is listed as questionable. Keep that in mind. Fox will be the undisputed primary scorer and playmaker. His huge usage rate, 33%, 85th percentile, is already elite and will likely spike even higher against the bottom tier defense. The Pelicans ranked 28th in defensive rating. So that's the first one. The second one is on Colin Gillespie of the Phoenix Suns. Over his 2.5 3-point makes, minus 120 on Bet Rivers, it looks like. So this says that season-long consistency. He's averaged three 3-point makes per game so far this season, which is a half shot above the current line. He's hit the over 60.87 or 61% of the game so far this season. Recent surge. He's been in excellent form, hitting the over 80% of his last 10 games, averaging 3.8 makes during that stretch. And his last game against the Timberwolves, he hit 4 3-pointers. And then his shooting profile. He's a high volume shooter. 64% of his shots come from 3-point range, 93 percentile amongst point guards. He converts these at an elite 43%, which is the 87th percentile. That's not too bad. So then situational matchup analysis, usage, explosion. The Suns are without key scorer Devin Booker and Jalen Green, forcing Gillespie to take the primary scoring and shooting responsibilities. His high usage rate, 21.5%, is concentrated amongst almost entirely on the perimeter. Defense versus position, Minnesota does rank 11th in opponent defense versus position rank for point guard 3-point field goal percentage. While this is slightly above average, the Timberwolves are vulnerable to the corner 3-point, ranked 29th in corner 3-point effective field goal percentage allowed. Wow. So, that's what JaXon likes today. Colin Gillespie over his 2.5 3-point makes, and De'Aaron Fox over his 23.5 points. Let's jump into the games for today. Hit the like button if you have not already, and the link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking JaXon out. So first up, the Sacramento Kings will be on the road, continuing to be on the road against the Indiana Pacers today. This line opened, let me just double check real quick. This line opened 2.5. Yeah, Pacers were laying 2.5. Went up to 3.5 last night. It's still 3.5. There are some 4s being pushed right now as well. Got to look at the injury report for both teams. Indiana is, slowly but surely getting a lot healthier. They will have the regular guys out. The role players of Obi Toppin, Ben Shepherd, and Nesmith will all continue to be out. Quentin Jackson remains out as well. And then on the Sacramento side of things, Sabonis continues to be out. Schroeder is questionable, and Keegan Murray is also listed as questionable for this game. So looking at it, we got a Pacers team that's played a lot better at home. Matter of fact, they just got their first cover on the road against the Bulls in their last game, and they've been covering spreads, right? 7-3 against the number in their last 10 games. Sacramento Kings, middle of the pack, 6-6-1 against the spread, but they have been better on the road. That's something to note. Last 2 times that these two teams played last season, Pacers won both matchups, and they didn't cover the second spread, but they won both matchups. And both of the games actually went under the total as well. We look at the Kings specifically. One thing I really wanted to look at was the Kings were actually on a 4-game losing streak. 2 of those games, 2 of those games came at home, and then 2 of those games came on the road. After losing to the Rockets by 26 points, and not covering that 15.5-point spread, they did bounce back and beat Miami. And that game stayed under the total as well. I kind of like the under in this game, man. Open 232.5. It's actually going up to 234.5. I just really don't believe in the Sacramento Kings offense. Like, I know that they just had a really big game against the Miami Heat in that last game, but we know Miami plays with a lot of pace. The Pacers have actually been winning games because of their defense has been a little bit better, in my opinion. So I'm looking at the game last night. First thing I wrote down in my notes was under. I didn't bet it, but and it's still going up too. But I wanted to see Kings when they're coming off a win this season, 1-4 straight up, 2-3 against the number, 3-2 to the under as well. Those games are averaging 232 points. They have gone under in 3 straight games. And if they're on the road in this spot, only one time that was against the Nuggets. So you got to kind of rule that out. If they previously won the game as a dog, they 1-2 straight up, 2-1 against the number though, and 2-1 to the under as well. These games are averaging 231 points. And then I think it was just Kings on the road as in general. They've been better on the road. 6-7 against the number. As short road favorites. As short road dogs. Let's see. Let's just see if they get in less than 4 points. 0-3 straight up. 0-3 against the number. They got smoked every time in this game. They lost to the Suns. They lost to the Grizzlies. They lost to the Jazz. So this would favor Pacers. I think looking at the Pacers, I do want them. If I want the Pacers, I typically do want them at home. 7-5 against the number at the crib so far this season. They have lost back-to-back games. That was against the Nuggets and the Cavs though, at home. So before that, they beat the Bulls, the Wizards, and the Pistons, and the Hornets as well. So they lost to the Hornets. No, they beat the Hornets. I'm tripping. Yeah, they lost to the Pistons, but they covered the number in that spot. So I think it's Pacers or nothing for me. It's under or nothing. Pacers as a home favorite are 2-0 to the under as well. So I'd be on Pacers. I'd be on under if I'm betting this game. Player prop wise, let's go over to Outlier really quickly, and then I will jump into the comments, see what you guys think about it. So we go over to Outlier. Link in the description if you guys are interested in checking out Outlier. Remember, we talked about Pascal Siakam rebounds in the last game against the Chicago Bulls, and he had 10. Line was at 6.5. They bumped it up to 7.5. It is a little bit. Well, you can get a -109 right now on DraftKings. I like the matchup. I like it again just because the matchup, like the Bulls are a bottom 5 rebounding team, and so are the Sacramento Kings. You can see it right here, 26th in rebounds. If we go down here and we look at Siakam's rebound chances, you can see that, this season, this is last 10 games, but if we look at the full season, you see he's only over in 8 of his 22 games, 36%, averaging right at 7.14. But last 10 games, we see, he's averaging over 11.5 rebound chances. And this is what I always look at, right? Rebound chances and then the defense that they're playing against. So 11, and when he averages 11 rebound chances, 11.5 in the last 5 games, Sacramento's actually, bottom 5 in rebounding team. We talked about that already. If Siakam gets 11 plus rebound chances so far this season against a team that's bottom, and just in the bottom half, they only have to be bottom 5, bottom half of the league in rebounds allowed. He's over in 4 of his 7 games, and he averages closer to 9 rebounds, 8.6. So I think, if I think about this, what am I trying to say? If I think about this Indiana Pacers defense, right, and I'm trying to talk and multitask at the same time. If I think about the Sacramento Kings defense, the Indiana Pacers defense, I'm sorry. If I think about the Pacers defense, the thing that sticks out to me is they haven't necessarily been that bad, specifically at home against terrible offensive teams. So you can see they are 20th on the full season in defensive rating. But if we flip this to last 10 games, it drops down to 15th. So they've been a little bit better. If we flip it to last 5 games, 15th as well. I don't know, man. I don't really want the Kings. Don't want the Kings, even though they have been feisty. This is what scared me. I'll show you guys what scared me off when I was looking at this last night. So the Kings on the road as a dog, you can see that they typically come out smoking early, 9-4 against the number. Kings on the road as a dog, 9-4 against the spread. Pacers have only been home favorites twice. You can see that they covered both numbers for the full game. I'm sorry, both numbers in the first half, 1-1 against a full game. Some stuff that supports the under. You can see Pacers 14-9 to the under. Kings 13-10 to the under as well. Pacers 2-0 to their team total over if they're a home favorite. Not really wanting to trust the Kings defense though. A lot of this hinges on, if Keegan Murray's going to play as well. I think that's important to note. And you can see that the Kings, when they've been getting the short number, and they've dogs of 2.5 to 7, 1-9 against the number. And I just told you guys when they're on the road in this spot, they're 0-3. And they've lost every game by 4-41-9 so far this season. So this would back Indiana. I do think that they have Nembhard to throw at Zach LaVine, so he's not going off and hitting 8 threes again. That's my thought process on this one. All right, so let's get through the comments real quick, and then we'll push to the next one. See what you guys are thinking. Not sure if I'm gonna bet this one or not. Let's see. What's up, Anthony? Appreciate you for tapping in as always, my brother. What's up, Adam? Brian says Sacramento, Indiana, Pacers -2.5, under 235.5. Who's gonna score on the floor? I agree. I like both of those. Taylor says he likes Westbrook 7 rebounds, over in 7 of his 12 games without Sabonis playing. Pacers play at the top 10 pace and allowed us 27 most rebounds in the league. They are not a good. Neither one of these teams are a good rebounding team. Like that. Adam says I cashed a nice ticket on the 3-team totals under you called yesterday, Chris. Nice. I like that. Blunt says he got Pacers on the money line -150 last night. Best bet of the day. I do think that they win the game, Blunt. I do agree with that. If Keegan Murray gets ruled in, this number will come down, though. Keegan Murray has been back and he's played well. Dom says Pacers first half -2. Kings team total under are the top looks for me. Pacers first quarter under 60.5. First quarter for Tariq. Rick says, you like the info? Hit the like. Appreciate you, Rick. Jared says, Benedict Mathurin, 22 points should be in play. When I was looking through the player props last night, Jared, there's so many that stand out for me, man. Like Siakam could get busy in this game. Like you said, Mathurin could get busy in this game. Like they got a lot. The Kings are just not a good defensive team. Keegan Murray being back should help that, but Kara says she'll go opposite. Kings +4 for her. Malik says you like first half over, thinking it will slow down second half. I'm not sure, Malik. I'm really not sure, man. Based on what I just showed you, let's see. If I was to go back and look at what I just showed you, Kings have been an over team in the first half. That's why they've been covering. They're 14-9 to the over in the first half. The Pacers have been opposite, 16-7 to the first half under. Pacers are 17-6 to their first half team total under as well. Let's see if we just look at home road split specifically. Pacers 8-4 to the under as a at home in the first half, and then 2-0 to the under in the first half as well as a home favorite. The Kings are 9-4 to the over, so I'm not really sure what to do. I don't really trust either team defensively, but I trust the Pacers to be able to score. I think a little bit more than I trust the Kings to be able to get stops. The Kings on the road are 27th best defense or worst defense, so they're third. You could say fourth worst defense in the NBA when they're playing on the road so far this season, which is also scary for under. I just think the total is a little too high, 235.5. So I don't really have too many strong thoughts in my opinion. Like I don't want to sway you one way or another on the total. Let's push to the next one. I like Siakam Boys though. I didn't bet it. All right, next game up, Phoenix and Minnesota. So start with the injury report. So this line, I think, let's just double check. As far as spread goes, open 10.5. Suns were getting 10.5. Has come down to 10, down to 9.5 actually on DraftKings as well. Total open 229.5 is down to 224. So a lot of money coming in on the under in this spot. For the Phoenix Suns, they will be without Devin Booker and Jalen Green. Dylan Brooks is also on the injury report, listed as questionable. One of the reasons I didn't want to bet this game early. Without having Jalen Green, without having Devin Booker, if Dylan Brooks means a lot. It's an ankle injury that he's dealing with. Tweaked it in that loss on Friday to the Houston Rockets. I think he still finished the game though. Like I feel like he was still out there. They got the doors blown off of him though, so he didn't play late into the game. So as far as the Phoenix Suns go, man, that line on Friday, if you guys remember, was 14.5. Houston was laying 14.5 points. I think it was. It came crashing down all the way to 11, 10. I think it was. Matter of fact, what did it close at? It closed at 8.5. They took 6 points of value in that Houston line. Moved 6 points in their favor against Houston for them to lose the game by 19. The way I kind of think about Phoenix, also, so situationally, this is their third straight road game. We got to take that into consideration. We also got to take into consideration they got a big cup game coming up, right? They play on Wednesday in OKC, already getting 15 points in that game. Do we think that they are going to be competitive in this game against Minnesota? And the other thing you got to ask is, does Minnesota even want to win the game by more than 3-5 points? Because it's hard for Minnesota to be locked in. They just keep getting these very soft opponents, and I think the last time they covered a game was when they actually played against a team and they were getting points, and that was against the Oklahoma City Thunder, right? Let's see. Minnesota didn't cover against the Clippers, didn't cover against the Pelicans either time. Covered against San Antonio, they were laying 4.5 in that spot. Didn't cover against Boston, covered against OKC. So they've covered 2 of their last 9 games the Minnesota Timberwolves have. They just very lackadaisical team. So as much as I, think that the Phoenix Suns offense will struggle because Minnesota can actually lock this team up. They held the Clippers to 106 points in that last game. I'm not expecting the pace to be super fast in this one either. I don't like the spot for Phoenix though. I don't. Third straight road game. They played 5 of their last 6 games on the road as well. Only home game they had was the Denver one, and you got the big cup game coming up against OKC. I don't know how much they're going to, want to be involved and excited in this game. Now, on the opposite side for Minnesota, it is a revenge game. Remember, they lost that game. Dillon Brooks was talking trash to Anthony Edwards after the game. Anthony Edwards was talking trash to Dillon Brooks before the game ended. But Minnesota did lose that game. They were laying 4.5 points. Phoenix went in there, won that game outright. They were a little bit more healthier in that spot as well. The total did stay under the 231.5. This total, of course, is a little bit lower. Minnesota, man, I don't know. What I will tell you guys, because I know people are probably interested in knowing if I want to fade Minnesota again early, and I don't. I actually don't. And it's not that Phoenix can't cover it, because I do think that Phoenix can cover it. Matter of fact, I'm going to pull this up real quick again. I don't know if I promoted it early or not, but this is Moneyballer. Link is in the description if you guys are interested in checking it out. For all of your handicapping situation, no notes. So Suns with the rest advantage, you can see here, Timberwolves in-season revenge, blah, 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 blah. We come down here. We just look at the team comparisons. So if we just look at the most recent ones, right? This is what I pointed out in the last game. Well, actually, let's start with let's start with a top-down approach. So Timberwolves on a full season are 8-15, covering the number in the first half. So they've just not been great at all. 23 games, they've only covered 8. As a home favorite, 3-6 against the number. They just don't cover, especially when they're laying this big of a number. And then we go last 10 games. Home favorite, 3-7 against the number. Last 5 games, 0-5 against the number, right? So you can see it here, 0-5, 0-3 in the first half. Only covered one of the last 5 games as a home favorite. The reason why I'm not really interested in fading them early in this game is because Chris Finch actually talked about it in the post-game interview. So it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to come out and, give a little bit more effort early. So what I was reading this morning, it says Finch is happy with the players' determination in close and late moments, but also wishes that they would not create difficult circumstances in the early going. As usual, Minnesota coach put the emphasis on defense. He said, we've got to be a lot better defensively from our main guys right now. Finch said, starting in the first half, just too casual. It's now been 5 games in a row, and we've had to come from behind to win it. But we're not putting our stamp on the game defensively right away. We're just too loose. So this makes me think that, they could potentially wake up a little bit in this game. The Suns, they jumped out on, even losing that game by 19 against the Houston Rockets the other day. They jumped out on the Houston Rockets. I think they had a 6-point lead at the end of the first quarter before getting blasted in the second quarter. If they're short Dillon Brooks, this is a game I'm probably just going to stay away from, honestly. A game I'll probably just stay away from. Phoenix team total could potentially go under. If Dillon Brooks plays, I think Minnesota could be a little bit more motivated than if Dillon Brooks does not play. Because then you just look out there, playing against Ryan Dunn, and not to say, they're just missing too much, in my opinion, if that's the case. And the Minnesota Timberwolves can cover and win the game in probably just a quarter, the same way Phoenix ran out of gas in that last one. And like I said, Phoenix got the big game coming up as well against OKC in the Cup game in 2 days. So I said a lot to say that, 1, you got to wait on Dillon Brooks, in my opinion. But 2, can't play Minnesota. Can't fade Minnesota early in this spot. That's just my thought process. If you want to go back to it, don't let me stop you, but I won't be betting against them early in this spot. Let's see. Wolves should be the side, but you just can't trust them. I agree with that. Jared Bryan says Minnesota revenge spot. Can we lay 9.5? Suns first half, maybe split the game at half and take Minnesota. They're behind second half, hopefully. Yeah, that's been the common theme, right? It was something I wanted to check real quick based on something I just read. Like I had a thought pop up in my mind. Oh, Timberwolves in revenge spots so far this season. Timberwolves are 0-2 in revenge spots. They lost to the Lakers, didn't cover in the second game, lost to the Nuggets, didn't cover in the second game either. And they've struggled with really good teams. Suns aren't not necessarily the greatest team, but yeah, this will be the next revenge spot for them. 0-2 straight up, 0-2 against the number, losing by average of 6 points. They only lost to the Lakers by 1, but they lost to the Nuggets by 11. So they have not been great in this spot. Totals are 1-1 to the over/under. Yeah, this is super low total too. Tariq says Grayson Allen, 3 points plus 3. Point plus 3s. Grayson Allen always shows out when the main players are out. I could not talk you off of that. Sarah says she'd like Anthony Edwards over his 38.5 points, rebounds, and assists. I was actually looking under for Anthony Edwards today. And I'm probably not going to bet it just because he's had 2 bad games in a row, like 2, I would say passive games in a row. I'm not even going to say bad. I would say passive games in a row. I was doing some digging on Anthony Edwards this morning. One of the things I found is that when the Timberwolves have been big favorites this season, so if the Timberwolves are laying 7 points or more this season, Anthony Edwards is only going over his points prop. They've been 7-point favorites or bigger 10 times so far this season. He's only over his points, rebounds, and assists in 4 games. He's averaging 32.9. He went over against the Jazz twice. He went over against the Kings and the Pelicans. Those are the four probably. It's only 3 teams because one of them was on here twice, but he's over against the worst defenses in the NBA. I'll say that. And the Suns defense is a little bit better than that. They also do a really good job against the pick and roll ball handler. So if Anthony Edwards wants to come out here and go over his assist prop, that wouldn't surprise me. But I don't like his points, rebounds, and assists over. Specifically in home games, I looked this up too. Anthony Edwards at the crib, when they're laying 7 points or more, he's only over in 1 of his 6 games. So for whatever reason, he takes the game off. Only game he went over was against the Jazz. He had 38 against the Kings, 25 in the last game against the Clippers, 22 against the Wizards, 20 against the Mavs, and only what is this? 5 point. Oh, he got hurt in the Pacers game. Played just 3 minutes, so I guess that one don't count. But yeah, if Dylan Brooks is out there, maybe Anthony Edwards wants to get up for this game, but I wouldn't be betting on his over. That's my thought process, guy. Julius Randle under his 5.5 assists. Money says, I potentially could get behind that. 5.5 assists for him. He's over in 4 of his last 5 games. Suns are 11th in assists allowed. Yeah, I could. Don't let me talk you off, man. I don't want to look into it right now. Lo says this game is on Peacock. The players will get up for this one. Over for me. And bounce back. I need to see it before I can bet it at this point, Adam. 2 back-to-back bad games for Anthony Edwards. Like, he's not even, if you watch the game, even he was just playmaking. And I was thinking, like, I don't know. Kind of gave me Kobe vibes. Like, I love Kobe. Love Kobe to death. My favorite player all time. But I remember when Kobe didn't want to pass the ball, like didn't want to shoot the ball. And that's what Ant kind of gave me those vibes against the Clippers. He shot 3 for 11. And the game before that, he shot 3 for 6. I need Anthony Edwards to shoot more times than that. Like, who knows if it's gonna happen or not? I don't know, but you can't be taking 17 shots in the last 2 games combined. Against the Pelicans, the game before he shot 30 times. So I'm not sure what volume we're gonna get from Anthony Edwards in this game, especially with it being a big, massive spread. Taylor says back to it, just the other way. Gobert 10 plus points. Suns allowed the 23rd most points via putback. And Gobert is over in 6 of his 8 games versus teams ranked 20th or worse versus putbacks, averaged 14. Could not talk you off of that. I like that. Actually, myself a little bit too. Gobert is probably the funniest player in the NBA for me, though. Like, if there's a guy that annoys me, just like Gobert is it, man. I try not to have no bias. I'm just not a Gobert guy. Blunt says T-Wolves been going through the motions, man. It's frustrating to watch at times. They can be beating teams by double digits. They just always play with their food. That's a fact. That's why I can't take them to cover in this spot. Phoenix covering. Adam says also, Chris, look at health blocks for the Pacers. Sorry, I'm out in the snow in Richmond. You in Richmond? Yeah, I'm in the snow in Charlottesville. Adam says I play Rudy and Mark Williams double. Okay, same out in the snow in Richmond as well. Trying to stay warm. Yeah, it's cold. I got the heat on. I got a hoodie on. It's freezing. I'm in the crib. Jordan says a lot of points for the Wolves. I agree. Took the under on Rudy Gobert, was a banger. I think he had one shot to him. Shout out to Taylor, man. Taylor dropped that look and hit the other day. Dom says if I could fight Gobert and win, I would absolutely. He just, man, I don't know what it is. Kind of hard to describe, man. He's French. You got him, man. This is how I know we need to move on to the next game. All right, let's go to the last game. Spurs and the Pelicans. Pelicans are getting, I think it was 9.5 when I looked this right before I started the show and I updated these lines. Let's double check. 9.5. It's done, coming down to 9. Spurs opened 8.5 point road favorites. Total has it had plummeted 237.5, come down to 236.5. I thought I saw it lower than that. Maybe I was looking at another game. Anyway, start with the injury report, which in my opinion is humongous in this game as well. Hated that the injury report is like this. So Stephon Castle been upgraded to questionable. He could make his return. They could potentially leave him out. Maybe you get a tune-up game against the Pelicans before the cup game. Remember, the Spurs also got a cup game that's coming up on Wednesday. They got the Lakers, right? Lakers will have the rest advantage in that game. They're already laying 4.5 points in that game. Wemby has been ruled out for this game. He's also going to try to come back and play for that cup game, which is what I was reading. But the big part, in my opinion, is Luke Kornet being listed as questionable. Because remember, without Luke Kornet, this Spurs defense does not have a true center at all. So no Wemby and no Luke Kornet, no Spurs for me. And maybe a team total over because they'll play super fast. But I can't lay this big of a number with the Spurs. And the Pelicans are god awful. Oh my gosh, the Pelicans are not good at basketball, man. And I know a lot of it is the injury report, but I watched them play against the Brooklyn Nets, and they made the Brooklyn Nets look like they were a top 4 seed in the Eastern Conference. I'm talking about they had like a 25 point lead against this Pelicans team. Just not a lot of continuity out there. They also don't have any rim protection. Like we keep going through the same things with the Pelicans, and they keep covering numbers too. I forgot to even mention that. Short little 1-game road trip for them to go to Brooklyn, come back home. They also got a day of rest in between as well. Let's see real quick. San Antonio is the more rested team, though. They haven't played since they lost to the Cleveland Cavaliers by 13 points. They were getting 5 in that spot, and they actually played well in the first half. Had a big lead, and then not having a center really came into play. Cavs dropped 130 on them in that game, and that was a 4th and 6 night spot. So not that the Pelicans' offense is good, because it's not. They only got 101 points against the Nets, and that's. If Luke Kornet plays, I think that could be enough, honestly. I don't trust the Pelicans' offense. Like, their offense is not good enough to be able to score the basketball. Not that the Spurs will come in here and want to lock down and play great defense. I think they'll just probably want to run, push the pace. But I don't know if I want to contribute. I don't know if I want to add the Pelicans to be able to score the basketball in this spot. The other thing is Herb Jones. I forgot to mention him, but he's also on the injury report listed as questionable. Could be his first game back, and that'll strengthen the team just a little bit also. So I'm not sure what to do with this game. Spurs got the big look ahead spot. Pelicans, like I said, they have been covering numbers. We also got to keep that in mind. The Pelicans are 12-11 against the spread in their last 12-11 against the spread overall at home. As a road dog in the first half, they're 7-5 against the numbers. The Spurs are 0-4 to the number as well in their last 10 games. I'm sorry, their games as a road favorite. And the Pelicans have covered 7 of their last 10 games overall. First half, they're 5-1 against the number in the first half as well. Spurs got that big look ahead spot coming up. I don't know, man. I just know I don't want anything to do with the Pelicans. It's probably a Spurs team total over if I want to play anything in this game. Spurs should be able to score. Should be a pretty fast-paced game. Not really sure if I want to include the Pelicans to be able to score the basketball with them. It's a big number. Probably just stay away from the game, man. Spurs to get to 122.5, it looks like. And that's juiced at minus 125 on Caesars. Consensus is 123.5. I think you also got to consider like some assist props, right? The same way we always like to fade the Brooklyn Nets against point guards and take the opponent over their assists. Like this could be, a very big game for De'Aaron Fox or Stephon Castle from an assist perspective. Stephon Castle assists at 5.5. I'd be looking over in that spot, even with the minutes restriction that he'll probably be on with it being his first game back. He's crushed the 5.5 line over 9 of his 13 games so far this season. He averages 7.5 assists so far this season. He hasn't played since the 16th. So he's been off for about 3.5 weeks. I still take him over his assists against this defense, though. Opposing point guards are 10 and 15 to the over. They fit the bill. And I think that would be the way that I would play this. I think in the games that Castle has played with Fox, and I know it's only been a couple, I feel like he's been the primary point guard in my opinion. In the 5 games that he's played with Fox on the floor, he's averaged 9 assists and he's over in 4 of his 5 games. So Stephon Castle over his 5.5 assists against one of the softest defense in the NBA would be the way that I would play. The Pelicans allow the 3rd most assists in the NBA and they give it up specifically at the rim. He gets 42% of his assists at the rim. So Stephon Castle over his assist prop. Dylan Harper could get busy. Like it's so hard to figure out what guard it's going to be. Like it could be a Champagny game. Keldon Johnson over his 12.5 points. Like they got so many. Dylan Harper. Like they got Devin Vassell's been hooping. Got so many guys that can go off. And one of them will go off. I'm just not sure who it's going to be. And as far as the Trey Murphy thing, they bumped it up a little bit too high for me. 22.5 points now. He did get the 23 in the last game. We had over 19.5. That was a winner. But Trey get a lot of his points in transition. And the Spurs are actually pretty good. They're actually second best transition defense in the NBA. So I think I'm going to lay off Trey Murphy today. Not that he can't get busy. Don't get it twisted. I just don't want him at 22.5. That's too many for me. All right, let's go through the comments. I'm just giving you guys my thought process. Let's get out of here, man. Down says I'm 5'6", so I would probably need a lot. Yeah, Gobert like 7 foot, man. For us, I'm in Williamsburg, coming down here too. Williamsburg, shout out to the 757, man. I gotta hit the outlets in Williamsburg. I need some more running shoes. I'll be down there soon. Brian says Pelicans plus 9.5 Trey Murphy points. Adam says I'm on Fox 25 plus 105 on FanDuel. Georgia says the streak ends tonight with Saddiq Bey over 22.5 points plus rebounds. I'm taking the under to the window today. Saddiq Bey has been really, really good, man. What'd you say? You said points plus rebounds. Points plus rebounds. Saddiq Bey is over in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 straight games for Saddiq Bey. He's going over the number. He gets a pretty good matchup. Pelicans, the Spurs give it up to spot up shooters, and Saddiq Bey gets 1/4 of his points from the spot up shot. Spurs ranked 25th in defense against the spot up. I don't think the Spurs are going to try to play as much defense, though. Not when you got that big cup game coming against the Lakers in the next one. So it's a scary game, man. Tom says, I was watching the Pels and Nets game, and Pels don't even care about playing defense. You know what's crazy is, Tom, to your point, I couldn't agree more. But we saw the same thing when the Pelicans were playing against the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves were just like, you can look at that game, man, like both games, the first game and the second game. The Timberwolves just going through the motions, man. They was out there lollygagging around trying to figure out what it literally looked like a pickup game. So the Pels defense can't be taken serious right now. Queen is like 6'7". Like they don't have rim protection. They also can't rebound the basketball. Pretty sure if I go to Moneyballer right now and look at the rebounding, I'm pretty sure they're bottom 5 rebounding team over the last 5 games. Matter of fact, I'm gonna do it. So when you can't get rebounds and you can't protect the rim, I can't look towards you. They keep covering numbers, though. They do keep covering numbers. Last 5 games, they are, rebounding. Pelicans are 24th in rebound percentage last 5 games. Let's go to opponent, though. Last 5 games. Opponent rebounds, Pelicans are allowing the 5th most rebounds. Opponent offensive rebounds. Pelicans are allowing the 5th most offensive rebounds. Yeah. Luke Cornett, you need him though. Castle assists if he plays up to 10, Adam says. I agree with that. 9 is too many for the Spurs. Show me. Vassell threes, Noah C says 3, 4, 5. Pelicans give up insane threes to 2 and 3 option guards. Vassell hit 4-6 versus New Orleans this season. But Castro and Wemby in. I don't care about the ATS records. They stink. Yeah, Noah, I was thinking about Devin Vassell because I watched him go off in that last game against Cleveland. And like I feel like it might be a bounce back spot. Like instead of Vassell today, it might be Champagnie because Champagnie does the same thing that Vassell does. Vassell just can get his shot off a little bit easier. But if you're just kicking to shooters, like Champagnie scored like 2 points in that last game because I had him on my short list for plays against Cleveland. He shot the ball terrible in that game. So like it wouldn't surprise me if it was a bounce back game for Champagnie and Vassell doesn't shoot the ball as well. But I'm not going to talk you off your play because it could be either one of them, like I always say, right? Tariq says he'll go Pels plus 9.5. Pelicans have been covering. LG says Pels first half at home versus the West is good money. Trey Murphy 2+ steals is what he likes. Okay. Let me talk you guys off any of that. I kind of want to wait for the injury reports to, the dust to settle and clear and all that good stuff. And then I think I might jump in, man. I haven't bet anything yet, but let's go through the recap real quick. So starting at the top, Sacramento, Indiana, it would be Indiana minus the 3.5, I think, if I had to play. And then somehow I do think the game's going to stay under. Not that I trust either team defensively, but I think if I'm betting that game, it'd be under. So under 235, 234.5, it looks like it's consensus right now. Pascal Siakam over his 7.5 rebounds. I think that's the other thing that I would like a lot. That's all in one game. Phoenix, Minnesota. I kind of want to wait. To see what happens with Dillon Brooks, because you'll get a motivated Timberwolves team if Dillon Brooks plays. You need that instigator out there. That'll be the thing that wakes the Timberwolves up, in my opinion. Also, don't want to fade Minnesota early because Chris Finch called them out on that. Could start the game early. Phoenix without 3 starters, I think we're asking for a lot in that, in my opinion. So I'll wait on that game. And Sacramento, San Antonio, and New Orleans. Stephon Castle over. If he plays, over his 5.5 assists would be my top look in that game. Yeah. One more thing real quick. I feel like to everybody that liked the Pelicans early, I can see why. I mean, it makes a lot of sense. I feel like if we just look at them, their last 5 games, their offense has really struggled to score the basketball late in those games. So real quick, if we just go, let's just look at their games since Thanksgiving. So they are, they're getting outscored. So they're 5-2 against the spread in those last 10 games, but it's been a strong second quarter. They're losing the first quarter by an average of 3. This is a 7-game sample. Losing the first quarter by about 3, winning the second quarter by 3, and then losing the third quarter by 2, and then they just run out of gas in the fourth quarter. That's what I was thinking. They average 26.7 points in the fourth quarter, but they give up 30. And this is what happened with the Timberwolves in both games and the overtime, and it's what happened. Not really so much with the Brooklyn Nets. They just got smoked that whole entire game. But I don't know. We see if Herb Jones come back. That could help him a little bit too. So either way, I like Stephon Castle over his assists if he plays in this game. De'Aaron Fox points, I think, make a lot of sense as well. So I haven't bet anything today. If I do, I'll send it out to the members as always. Only 2 games tomorrow, which are cup games. Only 2 games on Wednesday, which are the other 2 cup games. The East games are tomorrow, and the West games are on Wednesday. And then Thursday, I think we got the line's out already for, it looks like 4 games, and we have, I'm not sure how many games we have, but I know we for sure, I think we got 5 games. And the lines, I think, are out on all of them. So, Appreciate you guys for tapping in as always, man. Resources are in the description of the video. Check them out. Outlier, Moneyballer, Ozjam, and JaXon. And yeah, I'll catch you guys in the next one, man. Enjoy the Monday, man. I'm out.